You will get asked this question on your private pilot check ride, and today we're going over how lift is generated. Well, before we go over that, we need to talk about our airfoil characteristics, right? Our airfoil is designed to create pressure differences, and when it comes to our airfoil, we have a leading edge, which is the most front part of our airfoil, and then our trailing edge, which is the most furthest back part, right? The most aft part. That line between our leading edge and our trailing edge is going to be our chord line. And then that upper part of our airfoil is called the upper camber. Lower part is called the lower camber. And then that wind that is parallel and opposite direction of the travel of our airplane is going to be that relative wind. Why is it important? Well, when it comes to our chord line, right, let's just dot that out here. That angle between that relative wind and that chord line is going to be our angle of attack. And when we talk about angle of attack, right, there is a specific degree of angle of attack that we're unable to generate sufficient lift, and that's also called our critical angle of attack. So let's talk about how lift is generated now. There's two different theories. There's Bernoulli's principle and Newton's third law. So when it comes to Bernoulli, he states that as a fluid's velocity gets increased, its pressure decreases. And with us as airplanes, we're flying through the air, and air is a fluid. So when that air is going over our upper camber, its velocity is getting increased compared to as if it were to be going under our lower camber, right? So as that velocity gets increased, Bernoulli states its pressure decreases. So we have more of a low pressure above our upper camber and a high pressure below. And when it comes to that, high pressure does like to seek low pressure, and it creates more of like a vacuum, and it chases it, right? And it generates lift for us. Okay, so next thing we're going to talk about what generates lift for us is Newton's third law. So when it comes to Newton's third law, as we're flying through the air, right, that air is not always going to be smooth below our lower camber. So when it comes to that air making contact with our airfoil, it's actually getting deflected, right? Some of it's getting deflected downwards, therefore giving us lift, because as Newton states, with every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction giving us an upward movement. So this is how lift is generated. Hope this helps. Thanks for watching, everybody.